Welcome, Exiles, to Bait or No Bait Mirage Edition. I'm your host, General Spear, and today we have 25 of the best build creators, and we're going to go through each and every one, letting you know which ones are bait and which ones are not bait. Note, we used to have a slideshow for this, but budget cuts cut deep, and now we just have paint. Deal with it. Now, starting off strong with the Wonder Kid himself, Mr. MF, we have Fubgun. He has a bow league starter, which I am not too familiar with, so we're going to get a second opinion from an expert in the field.
I'd say bows are in a really good spot. In fact, I would even say they're in the best spot they've been since Crucible League. I have to go all the way back to Vengeance Cascade and Crucible Weapons to find a time when bows were stronger than they are now.
It's hard to argue with such a glowing review. We're going to actually start off this list with a not bait check mark. Believe it or not, bows, best state they've ever been since Crucible. Next up on our list, we have Arrow, coming in hot with Holy Flame Totem, and the title says it all. The buff we needed. Well, I gotta be honest with you, friends. If the build needed the buff, the build is not good enough. We're looking for exceptional, not mediocre, just barely acceptable. That's going straight into the bait category. If you play this, you will end up with bad things happening to your family. A strong contender to follow up is Gazi TV. His thumbnail, Holy Strike, is busted. Look at those effects. It just glows, doesn't it? Unfortunately, we are not really qualified to answer this question without the real build versus sitting in a chair chart. So let me just pull that up for you folks. Now, assessing Gazi's build based on this simple chart, you might think it is a strike skill, but realistically, let's be honest, GGG did not lie. It does have the Minion tag, which would in fact qualify it under the acceptable threshold of real build versus sitting on the chair in the corner build, and we're going to have to go ahead and label this build as bait. Do not do this. Your wife will leave you for a stronger man. Following up Gazi TV, we have DS Lily. 712, fresh run, Eater Exarch champion. Do I need to say more? That's just good business sense. I think we can go ahead and label this as a not bait. I don't even know what the skill is. Following DS Lily, we have Locahall with the Kinetic Fusillade Warden. And that's where I gotta stop you right there. Warden, I'm pretty sure, is just made up. I think it's a grand psyop by GGG because as far as I'm concerned, this picture right here, that's a Raider. Okay, and I'm not going to let anyone else tell me otherwise. This is clearly some messed up science fiction. I don't know what kind of nightmare you people are living in, but from where I'm from, Raider is the class. I don't know what Warden even is. A second bow starter has hit the Bait or No Bait show with Snoobe bringing in a ice shot of penetration. Once again, I'm going to have to defer to an expert on the state of bows.
Yeah, because bows fucking suck.
Well, it turns out our second expert has a bit of a disagreeing opinion with our first expert, and they're both playing bow builds, so we're going to have to take this to the tiebreaker. Heads, bows suck. Tails, bows good. Well, the coin has spoken. Bows do suck. We're going to have to label both of these as complete bait. Sorry for swapping it up on you, but, you know, the scientific method of the tiebreaker does not lie. Now, following up the MF Messiah is no easy task, but luckily, Rutu competes on a different plane of existence, the cat plane, something our researchers have no understanding, so we had to go out and get some reviews from people who have tried his builds. And one of the biggest reviews from the strongest player we found who played his build said, and I quote, "I played Ru's build for 1 day in Phorecia, and it made me quit PoE for 2 weeks. Source anonymous." Now, we did, of course, have to verify these claims. We put some psychologists to study the mind of the individual who said this, and we found some disturbing news. This player had lost half their brain due to the rampant brain rot from PoE2 Temple, and we believe their review maybe was tainted by the despair and depression inflicted by picking up 10,000 divines without finding a mirror. Unlucky. Unfortunately, this leaves us in a predicament because we don't know how to rank a cat on the scale of PoE, so we're going to have to defer to the almighty flip a coin test. Heads, the cat build good. Tails, the cat build bad. The coin does not lie. That is going to have to put the cat in the negative territory. Do not play the cat's build. Next up, we have Alkaiser playing Earth Shatter Slams Slayer. Let's go ahead and take a look at our expert in the field's opinion on such matters.
Slam story dominating the meta category. No, see, that's the thing. This is the thing. There's people like you fucking brainwashed by Fabgun who has no fucking clue what he's talking about. And you guys are all fucking regurgitating his fucking dumb takes. That shit fucking triggers me so fucking much.
Well, that couldn't have been more clear by our expert in the field. He was even offended we even asked about the viability of slams. We're going to have to go ahead and put this in the bait category, along with attaching another bait for Fubgun due to his brainwashed dumb takes. Following up Alkaiser, we have Devil with 2 Cat. And we have to be honest here, we noticed something very alarming. This gem right here. Of course, if we examine our chart of real build to sitting on a chair, that is in fact a minion, which of course makes this a bait build. Do not fall for it. I'm telling you, your children will start asking, who's my real dad? Well, if it isn't the snitch himself, fastest totem starter ever, 5'11 Exarch Eater. We did a little bit of analysis on the wordplay here, and we came to the conclusion this is clearly meant to be a bit deceptive, because builds can do this faster that aren't totems, and he's just putting the word totem in there in order to label it as fast among a slow category of builds, which clearly means this guy's trying to bait you. Not this time. Once again, the snitch has unsuccessfully baited all of you. Thanks to the Bait or No Bait team, you are welcome. Following every great bait artist, there is a master duper. This time, it's Spicy Sushi. And as the saying goes, those who can't do, teach. I would also say, those who can't make their own league starter, make a league start tier list. You know, it's one of those things where they really shouldn't be in the kitchen, and quite frankly, you shouldn't be following their recipes. Let's go ahead and get this over with. That is clearly the bait. It's time to put the hatred essence down. You just aren't qualified, Sushi. Now, next up we have Pox, the RF god himself. And I gotta be honest, I have to ask, Pox, what happened, man? What happened? Every bait or no bait since the dawn of this show has labeled your builds as not bait. And you come here and you stab us in the back with what the hell is that? A totem. This is an oxymoron of a build. If you judge the chart, guys, real build RF, totems not real build. You cannot combine the two and desecrate our holy values. Pox, it pains me greatly to do this, but you are going to have to go on the bait list. For the first time ever, our greatest hero has betrayed us. After that knife in the back from our greatest hero, I only hope Palron won't do us so wrong. Unfortunately, it's not a knife in the back from Palron, but rather a knife in the front. It's something we saw a mile away. His totem addiction seems to be reaching stage 5. Pretty soon, I think, his case may become terminal. Next league, guys, don't be surprised if Palron is seen with a minion gem. I'm just saying, it's just going to keep degrading. His will to play a real build can't hold on much longer. On a more optimistic note, look how happy Karn is, guys. That's what we like to see. Karn happy. He's got auto exert. He's got reserve tech. This is something that we're looking forward to. A build where we can start something reliable, something that's definitely based on a real mechanic and not a bug. I am excited to announce a new addition to the bait list. Fixed the bug where reserve multiplier from arrogance support was not applying to Warcries supported by our auto exertion. Now, some may argue this is just a nerf because they're targeting Karn. Others might argue arrogance, which is supposed to double your mana reservation cost when reserving on life, should get this: double your reservation cost when reserving on life. The scientists have not come to a conclusion whether or not this is a nerf. Fortunately, we don't have to wait for the scientists to decide because we have game developers and they decided for us. Karn is in fact bait due to the clear bug fix that occurred in the patch. Rest in peace, our greatest Slayer main. Following up, a man of few words, Ventrua. When asked in the field what he was going to league star, he said RF Elementalist or something. And I can give you a solid answer on what that is. That is clearly a good idea. Righteous Fire, you can't go wrong. Not bait or something, definitely bait. So just keep in mind, check his stream. If it's an Elementalist using Righteous Fire, good, follow the build. If it's or something, let's be real, clearly bait. Tatiano. What the hell, man? Can you please play something that is not a totem? I would love to rank you not bait, but unfortunately, we all know totems are trash. And we also have the transitive property. Palron is baiting with Connect Fusillade, who's being baited by Jungroan, and you are clearly being baited by both of them. I don't care what came first, the chicken or the egg. You're all baiting with this build. Totems are not a real build. After Tatiana, we gotta follow this up with a meaty one, and that is Berserker Slams by Ben. Let's go ahead and check our expert in the field, what he has to say about slams in the current game.
If you play Slayer, I would understand. If I played Slayer, I'd probably also be mad about the nerfs. Because the build was so mediocre on Slayer anyways, that getting nerf sucks. And it's like, the power level might fall pretty far. But if you're playing the right ascendancy, Berserker, you're probably not even going to notice.
I don't know about you guys, but that couldn't have been more clear. Berserker Slams is good, Slayer Slams is trash. The facts are the facts. Don't doubt the expert. Behind every endgame Giga Chad, there's a slower, much more skill-challenged campaign speedrunner. Tai himself, however, put up a speedrun where he did not just the campaign, but Exarch and Eater. The fun part about this is the footage is completely AI generated. We went ahead, we dug through the files, it's all fake. We really should have known this without even doing any investigation, because let's be honest, we've never seen Tai completing Act 1, but of course we had to do our due diligence. Just know this footage is not real. Tai is 100% baiting you into believing he could complete Exarch and Eater, let alone the campaign, let alone, let's be honest, Act 1. After Tai, we have the resident Zizaran hater, and he's trying to convince you that playing Gladiator is a good idea. Now, isn't that a bit of an oxymoron? The guy who makes fun of Zizaran playing the Lucky Block Ascendancy? Clearly, this person is demented, and let's be honest, I'm not sure he can even read, because there is a line there that says, you will die every time you click the button. Don't fall for this. This is a bad bait build, no doubts about it. Following the fake captain, we have a real god gamer, Quinn69 himself, the first to do the original Ubers in HC SSF with an ethical build. And now that there's new Ubers, he's gonna rise to the challenge. In no way, shape, or form will he stall or avoid proving how he is the true god gamer. You heard it here first, folks. This league, Quinn69, will even do it on Gauntlet, taking on the best of the best to prove they're not really the best. Watch out, Ben. Quinn69 has arrived. Not bait whatsoever. Following the inventor of the Scion Life Wheel, we have Fearless Dumbo, and he's playing Wave of Conviction of Charthus Mines. Now, this is a bit of a gray area. If you examine the chart we made, Mines actually falls directly in the center of the chart. Between real build and sitting on a chair, it's no man's land. It's who knows. It's roll the dice, pay the price. This is going to go under the question mark category because we're not really sure. Next up, we have Zizaran. A recovering gambling addict is what the reports are showing, and he's playing Bone Zone Jug. Now, doesn't that sound nice for something that's a complete lie? At the time of starting to record this video, I was fully prepared to award Ziz a not bait category. And then 2 hours into it, he gives me this garbage. I'm glad I checked again. I almost labeled him as not bait, but clearly he's hopped on to the Totem Kinetic Fusillade propaganda wheel that seems to be rolling on through town. And by the way, we actually did some research about DS Lily's run. This isn't just champion Giga Chad. Turns out it's Kinetic Fusillade too. So we're going to have to write that off as bait. It hurts to see the ones you love the most betray you like that, but sometimes it happens. After Zizaran, we have Connor himself, 1 mana left, or as now they refer to him as no mana left. And I'm just going to put some arbitrary numbers on screen. And that's all you gotta know. 0 for 6. I wonder what that means. Following Connor, we have Garatha. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't do any research. I'm just gonna flip a coin again, because, like, come on, this video is getting a little long. Tails, good build. Heads, bad build. The game, and by the game I mean the coin, has spoken. Heads, bad build. Do not play Garatha's character. We're speed running here. FaZe Plays is up next, and he has bleed slams. We did not research it. I'm tired. I want to end this video. Heads good build, tails bad build. Turns out, once again, another bait entry to the list. So there you have it, folks. That is Bait or No Bait. Thank you all for watching, and as always, have a good league start. Take care, Exiles.